First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being with me tonight from far and close to celebrate my 70th birthday and to look forward to the next 30, because the candles on the cake, there were 3. So that's the future. I would like to thank big time my sister-in-law Kathy Hooks and my brother Terry and Sarah and Katie for hosting this celebration today, which brings us together. And I said, but that's too much, it's too extravagant. Why? They said, so that we could be together, so we could make memories. And Carolyn Sullivan, who can not only, where is she? Who can not only do her job teaching at university, who has a private practice on the side, is a mother extraordinaire. Not only does that, but she can dance with her brother as well. She told me, and she's a child psychologist specialist, she said they had promised the 2 children this was going to be a special event, and if they were very good and slept this afternoon, they could stay up as long as they want to. So they've been very good, and they're anxious to see how the night unfolds.
They expect it to be light when they leave this room.
When the light comes in, they'll know it's time to go to bed. That's about the same time Randy and Pete go to bed. I wanted to do some reflections on my life journey. I was born in Newfoundland, June 2nd, 1945, just as World War II ended. My journey started there, and then 6.5 years later, my brother Terry joined the picture. So then I was not alone on the journey, because I had my brother Sharon, who is deceased at this point, but he's the one in the room that came into my life next. Then I thought, who else joined in on my life? It was Mary when I was 9. Then Rita came into my life, Rita Kavanaugh, when I was about 13 to my recollection. Rita was teaching in the same school where I was a student in grade 7. And Rita was a good friend of my mother's. So Rita is, I'm going to tell your age, 15 years older than me, and she was 15 years younger than my mother. So we shared a friendship with 3 women.
And your mother's birthday was the same as mine?
Yes, her birthday is the same date in November. So she came in when I was 13. And then John entered the picture when I was 16. I was a student in grade 10, and he was in the seminary at the time in Ontario. And the church used to have these gatherings, and they were invited to come to our place. And that's when I first met him. And the rest is history. So that's my 4 people from the distant past came into my life at the beginning. And now I would like to talk about my newest friends in my life in 2015. To my left is Father Jim McDonald. Father Jim McDonald, I started to work with him as a volunteer 2 years ago. And as he took me around St. Gabriel's Church, St. Gabriel's Parish in Point St. Charles is a landmark in terms of architecture. It's like what Downton Abbey would look like if it weren't fixed up all the time with millions of dollars. You know, it's the same kind of architecture because people stop to take pictures of it and beg to have movies shot there and all kinds of things they want to do because of the beauty of the property. So he's taking me around the church showing me the nooks and crannies and what I need to learn. And he's a bit older than I am. So then he tells me, at the time I was 68, he tells me that when he was 68, he was sent to St. Gabriel's to become responsible for the parish. Is that correct?
I may have.
That's what you told me. That was what he told me 2 years ago. Anyway, so he's got quite a responsibility there. And the biggest thing I have learned is from Father Jim is something that my daughter taught me one time when I was complaining and bellyaching. To whom much is given, much is expected. And in his sermons every week it comes out. What you have, you share. What you can give, you give. We are responsible for our brothers. And Father lives by that rule. And the next person who came into my life through St. Gabriel's is Father Murray McCrory to my right. And this is another man with an extreme wit. And he'll be wearing a nice green shirt with a white collar on. I'll say, Father, what a beautiful shirt that is, very Irish. I just made it myself. I put it on because you were coming. He's always got a wonderful sense of humor that comes through. And he's not 29, but he is responsible for the sacraments and for Mass too many times a week, and never a complaint comes out of his mouth. Now, Father and John have a very special history because John was his altar boy when you were 10.
That's correct.
They go back a lot of years. Now, Sister Diana is the third member of St. Gabriel's that has become my friend. And Sister has taught me so many things about how to serve other people. I worked in schools, I served the public, I worked with special education students. But she deals with special adults, and she gives them meaningful place where they help others. And she teaches them how to get the money and how to get the food organized. And once a month, for 4 days in a row, people line up with a ticket to get groceries. And they do it in a very organized fashion, and they have to line up according to her rules, because she had good training in Saskatchewan where she taught grade 1. And she said, I just have to line them up the same way, and then it all works out. So she does amazing work, and if I had a hat on, I'd raise it to you. Now, two people who have become close friends of mine in the last couple of years, closer than ever. I need to underline it because, as you know, I went through knee replacement and I was not in good shape for a while. Not that that kept me down, but I was not in good shape for a while. So Lise Lavoie, would you stand up, please? Lise worked with me at Freeman Park International School. Lise they talked about the PYP in an international school, the learning attribute, the attributes of an internationalist. Lise knows those by heart. She put the program up on the wall for the visit from the International Baccalaureate. She painted the school, she made sandwiches, you name it, she did it, and then she came to work as secretary of the school. And then she went on to other jobs with the school boards. But in the last couple of years, she has become a very dear friend of mine, and all I would have to do is ask for an Indian dinner, and it's there, enough to feed us for a week. Or, I'm trying to work with Excel with the parish, and I'm not an accountant by trade, and I'm not. They talk about Excel being the longest ruler in the world. That's not automatic in my heart, but she knows how to come and help me get whatever I need out of the computer, and that's a very important role she plays, so I can help St. Gabriel's. And then the second person I would like to introduce to you is Kathy Mackin. Would you stand up, Kathy, please? Are you Kathy Mackin? Stand up and say, I don't want to be very Kathy is one of 3 sisters that are at the table tonight, and you'll know by the color of the female hair that they're all sisters. And there's more. And their mother, Ann Mackin, used to play poker. You keep hearing tonight that I like gambling. Well, their mother did too. And besides that, she drank a lot of Irish whiskey with Patrick and I. He can be witness to that. So, the other 2 ladies had been actively involved in my life, but Kathy came in the last year, especially. And she was with me through last summer, which was a very difficult time in recovery. And I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand, I couldn't do much, but she worked outside with me, and I said, Kathy, will you paint those ducks up on the wall? Well, she'd do it. She'd help me with anything I wanted help with. And it sure made a big difference in my recovery. And then in the last year, I've discovered we do like gambling, both of us. So God knows if we ever get somewhere together in the future. Now, I would like to, so you can situate me on the planet Earth, my siblings' families. So Terry, Kathy, and Kate and Sarah, I think people have referred to them tonight. This is my brother Terry and his wife Kathy, and Sarah and Kate, who are coming to Montreal to work at McGill, to study at McGill. And then our deceased brother Sean, I would like his 3 children to stand up, please. Okay, there they are. Here's the dancing duo, Patrick and Caroline. And Randy is in from New York State. And Randy does other things that the Sullivan family love to do. So they're a great role in my life. Now I'd like to have Sean's widow Mary and Caroline stand up. Okay, Mary, Martin, and Caroline are an important part of our lives. Mary took our brother Sean through the journey of death. You know, she kept his medications. He never had to go. She looked after him at home and did everything that needed to be done and kept track of everything that had to be kept track of. And we are always grateful for that role she played in his life. And Caroline was just a little girl at the time, but now she's grown up and has a wonderful talent for music that she shares with us from time to time. I'm glad you're here. So to all my friends here that I have not mentioned individually, thank you for being part of the fabric of my life, as is my family. It's a wonderful journey so far, and I have great hope that there will be maybe 30 years or maybe 29, maybe 19. When my Aunt Eileen, my mother's sister, died at the age of 89, when I turned 50, she said to me, "My wish for you is that I will have your longevity. You will have my longevity." And that's what I'm looking forward to as I exercise and try to eat some sensible food and carry on my journey. And thank you for being here this evening, and special thanks to the speakers and especially my husband John, my partner. Thank you.